Hello there guys and girls, and welcome back to episode 3 of the infamous Cavemen playthrough. We are doing the Lost Tribe, if you remember rightly. In the last episode we left off with getting some sheep, and I think by the looks of some of the comments we're going to keep the sheep for now and harvest the wool to make more clothes. Obviously at the moment we are just wearing the basic tribe wear, so that is something that we will need to work on as the winters come around. We will need warmer clothes because this cold will start setting in, and again that can affect their moods, which we spoke about before in the previous episodes, and that could cause us some issues. Try and get out of the tribe mindset as soon as possible. It is going to take a little bit longer than anticipated because of course we have got that negative research buff, so it's not going to be as quick as possible. It's not going to be as quick as some of the other stories that we spoke about and the other scenarios, because if we do click on our research tab, as you can see, we literally have only got 5 things researched. First of all, we want to fix the food. Obviously we've got the rice growing through, that's almost done. We've got our farm up here that still needs to be planted, so we're just going to go and wait for Dragon to start planting, and hopefully after he's hunted he will do that. Obviously again, different jobs will have higher priorities over others. Obviously hunting is going to be quite a high priority because of course they know that's how we're going to feed the colony. So once he's hunted, he will go off and do his other jobs. As you can see, to be fair, what he was going to hunt has already been killed by a random wog. So we are now in that issue where this has not been killed by us. We can still harvest that though, so if you click allow, we can still take that and we can keep that for ourselves and you still use the meat from it. Some of the missing body parts, there's 35% missing body parts because obviously the wog's eaten it, some of it already, but it's still something that we can use most of the food from. Our wog as well, Fletch has killed one of the foxes, so at least for us that's going to help us in the long run, because that saves that predator turning on any of our animals that we have. So we've got an issue here where the lynx is hunting one of our animals again, our Yorkshire Terrier, so we are going to have to try and do something about that and try and defend this as best we can. So we're going to, when you're getting attacked by a raid or by animals or anything like that, you can draft your pawns or your characters into combat mode. They don't automatically go and fight. Typically they will run away from anything that comes after them. So their default is that they're going to be set to run away. Now we're going to change this to attack because I don't like the idea of them just running away from things. Typically they're still going to get hit. Then all of a sudden they've been hit and then they start fighting. So it's already at a disadvantage. So I'm just going to have them fight from the outset. We're going to draft these. When it's drafted, it means I can basically solely pick where I want them to go. I can pick anywhere that I want them to go around the map. And I can position them in places that when we are being attacked, for example, I could have maybe one here, the archers in the middle, so that when they come round, they can come from the outsides and start attacking them that way. But that's something, when we do get raided, we'll show you in a bit more detail. But for now, we've got an issue here. The lynx is going to go and attack our Yorkshire Terrier. Obviously, we don't want the Yorkshire Terrier to die because it has got a bond with Dragon. Now, if that dies, Dragon will get a negative mood debuff. So we want to try and defend this as best we can. So we're going to see what happens here. So Scorpion's first in, literally takes the attack from Lynx, takes it again, and we kill it. We kill it without a single bit of damage onto Scorpion. So that, to be fair, we were lucky there. Typically you will get hit and you will get a bit of damage on yourself. So our warg is a little bit damaged. Obviously he's bleeding slightly from when he was having when he was fighting the fox, but that's something that we can obviously deal with. We can heal him, we can give him medicine if needs be, but to be fair, like I said in the other episode, these are very, very resilient, so we probably won't need to do anything on that or worry about that for now. So Dragon's planting the farms as we was expecting, and that's really what we're focusing on today. Like I said, we need to focus on the farms, we need to focus on getting a food source. We're starting to build the dining room area. We also want to build obviously the accommodation. We want to build the little barracks that we're going to have for the people, just so we can start using this area as a more of a production area. We want to start moving forward with our research, and in order to do that, we're going to have to build a research bench, and we're going to have to just carry on from where we left off in terms of moving forward with the actual production side of things. We're going to have to build a tailor's bench, and that will then come in nicely when we start getting the wool from the sheep that we've kept. The research bench will help us move forward into new stuff that we can start building and developing. Okay, so first things first, what we're going to do is build our our homes, basically. We're going to build the bedrooms now. We've got these here, but they're not going to be good enough for the time being. So let's have a look here. We're just going to build a pretty standard, and it is pretty boring. We're just going to build a nice 4 rooms there, and we're going to have 2 rooms off here, and we'll move this out of the way. So we'll move the hoop ring. Now the hoop ring's important because we need that hopstone, sorry. That's important because what we're going to use, that'll be their recreation. As you can see on their needs, their recreation is going to start to keep going, well, it's going to keep going lower and lower. Currently, the issue that we've got is the only recreation that they will have is either by walking around or cloud watching and laying on the floor, and it doesn't really put it up very quick. It's quite slow, so it takes them out. And like we said earlier, we want people working as much as we can get them working at the moment, because at this starting stage we need to build it up as quick as we can. And if they're laying around, they're not doing anything, that's slowing down our progress overall. So we want to keep getting them moving, we want to keep getting them building. We've got 514 wood still stored. We're going to cut down a couple more trees, because once we've built all of this, that's going to take a big chunk of our wood out, and we're going to need more wood for when we start building some of the production bits inside here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get these built. I'm going to take these middle walls down, and then I'll come back and I'll show you what the plans are with this production room. Whilst we was fast forwarding in terms of our building, as you can see, we're not fully built yet in terms of what we were looking to do. We've actually had a heart attack. One of our rams has had a heart attack. So not sure how much wool we're actually going to be able to get from this ram right now. Game can put out random things at random times, and yes, your animals that you have can have just the same conditions that your colonists have. So currently the lamb had a heart attack. We have treated it, and we're going to see what happens. Maybe they'll pull through, maybe they won't. That's something that we'll have to look into. Worst case, if it does die, we have got the meat. Oh, and there we go. Just as I said it, the ram's life has come to an end. Ram 2 has died, caused heart attack. So nothing more we could do there. That's just the way the game does it. It gives with one hand and takes with the other. Obviously, we saw just at the end of the last episode that we got the rams and the sheep, and now all of a sudden it's taken one of them away. But the good thing for us is we can use it and we can get meat from that. So as much as it's annoying, obviously the plan was to keep it. We've got the other 2 still, and we've got some meat from that one. So it works in both ways. It works in our favour. I've got Scorpion here walking around in a psychotic state. That's because she's in a poor mood because of the environment, which again, we're not going to be able to do much more about that right now. It's something that we are trying to build and trying to build up. The main thing obviously that has contributed to that is her recreation. She's deprived. So we need to get this built as soon as possible so the guys can start playing on there, because once that's done, it will alleviate the pressure on the recreation a little bit more. I'm going to come back anyway. Like I said, I just wanted to quickly show you guys that part. Obviously it happens, and like I said, the game will give with one hand and take with the other. We've still got 2 rams left. We've got the one that we can now use for food, and I'll catch up with you once the barracks are built and the production room is slightly finished. I just wanted to bring it back again because we're starting to get a little bit of an issue with food poisoning now. Because we've not been cooking meals properly, and they've been eating raw meat, they've been eating just raw rice, and to be fair, our main cook has obviously been in that state for a little while now. We've got the issue where we don't have a natural cook. The best cook we've got is Dragon, and his cooking is free. We have got food poisoning on him and on him. So we've got food poisoning in a couple of the colonists at the moment. Now, it doesn't really change much in terms of what they can do. What it will mean is it will just make them slower walking around the map. Means that obviously they'll do things a lot slower. Now, there are a few things you can do reduce the risk of food poisoning. Obviously, one, cook the actual meat that you've got instead of letting them eat it raw. That's one of the things that they will just do. As I'm starting to butcher the creatures, if they are hungry, they're just eating it as it appears. So what we want to do is start getting everything gathered up and getting it cooked a little bit more easier. What the plan will be is, I know we spoke in the last episode about potentially waiting to build the fridge, but I think what I'm going to do is build it, and even if we just put our meat and vegetables here, so the meat and vegetables can go in that room, we can then use that as a little bit more of a quicker pass through into the oven and into the stove, because at the moment, yes, they have got a bit of a walk to go there, so it's not making it as quick as the production could be, and that's what we need to develop in the future. So what we want to do is make sure every bit of material that we use is close to the workstations. The closer it is, the quicker we will be able to develop it, quicker we'll be able to cook it, the quicker we'll be able to make it, because there'll be less travel time to and from the areas that we need to gather the resources. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to build the little fridge, so to speak, for now. It's not actually a fridge, as we know, because we haven't got the materials to build the air conditioning. We haven't got the research to build the air conditioning. The air conditioner doesn't come until we get to electricity and then the air conditioning. So it's going to be some way off. We've got quite a bit of research to go. So for now, we're going to keep it as just a separate room. What we could do is we could build a passive cooler, and that will keep it slightly colder in there to keep the berries at least lasting slightly longer. The issue that we've got as well is the animals that we've got in this save will start eating the meals that we've got. So the one simple meal that we've got has now been eaten by the Yorkshire Terrier. So that's always handy. We've got Dragon on a insulting spree, so that is also not going to help in terms of the mood. He's ate raw food, he's ate without a table, slept on the ground, etc. So all these things are just going to continue to add up now until we start getting a solution to what we need. The bedrooms are almost complete. We just need to get obviously some more woodcut. The woodcutters are ready. However, Dragon's obviously on the insult spree, and this one is currently major food poisoning, so he's going to be doing everything a lot slower. As you can see how slow he's actually eating this meal currently. Now I'm going to put Logger on to grow for now, because with Dragon in the insulting spree and not very happy, they're not really doing much between them. Some of them are doing one thing, some of them are doing something else, and there's no rhyme or reason as to what they're actually looking to do yet in the priority order. So we're just going to take it off. We're going to put both of them on there for now. We're going to get some more wood cut down here, just so we've got some more wood, because at the minute we have no wood, so we're not going to be able to finish off the blueprints that we want currently. So we're just going to get that sorted. Now we've got another extreme break threshold here. His mood is literally at 0. He is so unhappy at this moment in time, but there's not much we can do. Dragon has seemed to take him as the brunt of his anger and has insulted him 10 times for a -33 mood. There's not really much more we can do right now. And as it just said, he can't reach Grey now because he's actually gone to bed. So now he's going to go and insult Scorpion instead. So that's great. So not only is she walking around in a state, she's also now being insulted as well. Oh, and now they're going to have a fight. Brilliant. So as you can see, the colonists now need treatment after the social fight that they had. Now, arguably, the fight was caused by Dragon insulting pretty much every single member of the tribe, so he kind of deserved it. But still, we need to heal these people. Any bleeding effect will eventually kill them if it's not treated, because of course, the more blood you lose, the more your unconsciousness will creep up, and that's when obviously we start having more issues with blood loss. So he's already got a minor blood loss. The more he loses, the more that will go up. It'll go up to major, extreme, and then of course he will die. So we need to get him healed. We also need to get Scorpion healed. So anyone who's a doctor, you can have anyone who's able to do medical work. So if we go on here, the medical tab, anyone who can do medical work, they can actually self-heal. So you haven't got to rely on someone else to heal them, which does come in handy when you are in the middle of a battle. If, for example, Dragon gets hit, he can come back to the base, he can heal himself and rest while the others still fight. For example, Logger, he can't heal himself. So if he was to get hit and come back to the base and no one else is around, he will not actually heal himself. No one will heal him until they come back to the base. So that's going to be an issue with him later in the save. If there is an issue where it comes up where he gets hit, that's where we're going to struggle, because no one's going to come back and heal him until they're finished dealing with the threats. So we're going to put everyone who can self-heal, we're going to put them onto self-heal, because it makes it just easier. They might not have the best medical care that they can give themselves, but something is better than nothing, and especially if the other guys are still fighting, we need to make sure that we have as many people available to do what we need them to do. So we've had a guinea pig get killed as well, which again goes in our favour. So we're just going to put that on there. Oh, So the Yorkshire Terrier's already eaten that. Seems to be that this Yorkshire Terrier seems to be eating most of our food currently. We've seen it eating our meals. We've seen it eating the meat. It seems to be eating the corpses. So we're going to keep an eye on that. And if it gets a little bit too hungry and carries on doing it, we might have to eat that instead because it's going to be nice and fat and have a lot of meat on it. So now we've got our first growing site finished. We're going to have rice coming in now. They're still just going to be eating the raw food because the only cooks that we've got, funnily enough, both are the ones that attacked each other. Scorpion's going over to heal Dragon, which is a bit ironic considering Dragon is the one that caused these injuries, but we'll let it play out. And you'll see what happens is it gives you a 10 quality of the heal. So obviously the higher that quality is, the better the heal has happened and the quicker it will go. When we click on the injuries that he's got, it will have a certain percentage and how quick that damage is going to go. So it just works out how quick the injury is going to heal, how quick the virus is going to heal at the body based on the 10 of the quality. Now, the higher quality medicine that you use, of course, the better 10 quality it will be as well as the factor of how good they are in the medical skills. So it's all different factors that come into play. If you've got viruses in the camp, you kind of want to use the best medicine you can and the best medicine you've got available. If it's just a couple of scratches, a couple of bruises, it's best just to use the heal route because you don't want to waste the good quality medicine on that. So we've got 2 people idle, and this is because we have no jobs they are good at in theory at this moment in time. So we're going to just change this up a little bit. We're just going to put them on plant cutting. I know they haven't got nothing to do, but there's a lot of trees there that need to be cut down, and the 2 best tree cutters are currently injured and incapacitated, and we need wood. So even though it's going to take time, we're just going to get them to do it. It's going to take it a long time for them to finish, but it's worth it in the long run because we need to get these people up and running. We need to get these bedrooms sorted. We need to try and get the mood improved in the camp. Dragon is now feeding Scorpion. That works on the Warden one and also the Doctor one. If it's a Doctor, it will obviously heal, it will feed, and it will talk to your own colonists. If it's selected on Warden, it will just deal with prisoners, and we'll get to that point when we have our first few raids come along, when we do take some people captive. And we've just had our first quest come through, guys. We've got the Fleeing Duke. So this is part of the Royalty DLC, these quest lines. So if you haven't got that, you won't necessarily see the parts of the Honour. The Royalty stuff brought in a couple of different quest lines, brought in psychic powers, that sort of thing. So we're going to look at obviously taking on this quest line. And what we'll do is, as we get different quests pop up, we'll talk about in detail what they are and how different quests affect that. There's a variety of different quests out there, and again, this is another element of the game that always keeps you on your toes. So it's not just what happens on your actual map, it's about the quests that you're given that takes you to other parts of the map and the actual other parts of the world. As we can see, this is our map that we're working on, so this is our biome. But if we click on world, what you can see is this is actually the whole world that we're dealing with. So we've got so much space over here, so much space all the way around us, which we can actually work with. If we wanted to, we could get up and leave from here. We could form a caravan and we could move over to any part of the map. We would obviously need the food to be able to travel. We would have to forage on the way as well for berries, but we can go anywhere we want. So just because, for example, let's say we get stuck here. We've taken all of the stuff that we need. There's no more steel. There's no more machinery around. There's nothing else on this map that we can harvest. We can move if we want to. You're not stuck on the map. Yes, obviously you're losing your structures that you've built because you can't take them away. You can pack some stuff with you. So as long as you've got some animals that you can use to haul items with you, you can take your bedrolls, that sort of thing, and you can just become travelers and move to a different part of the map. That is a possibility. Obviously we may do that in the future. It might be something that we do move. We may need to when it comes to future development, but I just wanted to show you that the quests that you have can take you everywhere. So the quest that we've been given is a quest that's part of the Royalty DLC, like I said, and this is how we're going to start getting Honour. And when you get in Honour, that's when you start unlocking psychic powers. Now the higher Honour you go up and the higher rank that you achieve, the more needs that colonists will have, and that's where we need to start picking when we take honor wisely. To start with, we can take honor and it won't affect it. The yeoman doesn't have any specific requirements to a throne room or to their bedroom. It's just the basic stuff, so we can go through that at the moment, and we can get a level 1 of psychic powers on one of the pawns if we choose to. Now, the first quests that you get are always going to be obviously easier than any other quest later in the game. For example, this one quest, he's asking for help, calling from nearby, and his guards were killed in an ambush. Now, he's luckily escaped, but his guards were killed by one man-hunting duck. So, I mean, I'm not sure how good them guards were. It's just one duck, and they've been killed, and it is guards plural, so I'm presuming there was more than one as well. So I mean, this man-hunting duck could come in and wipe the whole colony. I very much doubt it. We are going to accept it, and when we accept it, we need to choose who we're going to give the honor to. I increased the UI size, so I'm not sure if that's easier for you guys to read now. I know in the first 2 episodes, the UI was a little bit smaller. So what we're going to do is we're now going to accept the quest, and we're going to give it to one of our colonists. Now, what we want to do is we want to look at a colonist that's going to benefit the most from it. And really, we're going to need to look at someone who's capable of social, because they are going to have to give speeches eventually. But we don't want to give it to someone who's too old, because we don't want to start having the debuffs come in as they gain age, which does happen. So I think the person that we're going to give it to, well, we haven't really got much of a choice, have we, in terms of social? We've got one person that can do it. I think we're just going to have to give this to Landio and hope that we're going to make the right choice here, because I don't think we've got much more. Well, we haven't got anyone else who could do social. They're all on 0. And to be fair, the stats aren't that bad. They're not that great, but we knew that was going to be the case. You know, in the starting pawns, we are getting a mixed bag. So we're going to accept it, and we're going to accept it with them. Now, what happens is the royal has joined the colony for now, because they are being chased by the man-hunting duck. We'll see how much of a threat that actually looks like when they join us. He's going to come over and join the colony. Now, we can actually control him. We can use his psychic powers. Again, we'll go into more detail of that as our colonists get them. But this is something where we're going to need to just defend him. So we're going to skip forward the time. Oh, here we go. We've got the man-hunting duck here. Let's see how vicious it looks. I mean, it doesn't look any worse than any normal duck that you would find. Let's be honest. I don't think it's going to be much of an issue for us. But we won't take it lightly, just in case, because I feel that's what the bodyguard's done. They took the duck lightly, and look, we know what happened to them. They're no longer here. So we're going to get a few of the guys ready. The duck's going to come down the choke point from the farms. So we're just going to get it ready. We're going to position the characters easily enough. I wonder if we'll actually hit it with an arrow before it even gets close. I doubt it. No. That's fine. Oh, there we go. One hit and the duck is dead. So I feel like the bodyguards that this guy had, he definitely needs to reevaluate how his bodyguards go through training or what they do. Because, I mean, one hit with a club and it was dead. So the shuttle's now arrived, so we can load him up. And that is literally the quest done. Like I said, it was nice and easy. We can get rid of him and we can send it. Luckily, we've done that before, I was going to say, Grey went and killed the king. However, it now looks like Grey is going to kill Dragon, because he's in a murderous rage. And that is one of the extreme breaks. We can't do anything about it. In 2 hours, he will be dead. And there's nothing we can do to stop it now unless we try and arrest him. Oh, and we can't because we don't have... Never mind. Oh, yeah, that's great. We're one colonist down now through something that we had no control over. Now, if I was quick enough then, and again, that's the whole 3 times speed thing. Before we even knew it, it was almost killed. We could have set this to a prisoner, and we could have tried to arrest Grey so he didn't kill Dragon. Unfortunately, we didn't do that quick enough, so now he's killed Dragon, so now we are a man down already. Unfortunately for us as well, Dragon was our best medic, so we are now down to 1 strong medic, which is Scorpion, and hopefully that one will at least stay alive for a little bit longer than what Dragon did. But it is what it is. Unfortunately for Dragon, he lasted 2 episodes. The 3rd episode, he just wasn't strong enough to get through, thanks to Grey. But we will obviously build him a we will we will build him a grave, and we will honor his death, and we will keep him in a special place in the save. He will be always known as one of the founding members of the infamous cavemen, but unfortunately it wasn't something that we could watch through to the end. Now we'll go back to obviously the quest. We've been given obviously a title. We're a title freeholder now. The title can't be inherited if she dies, so no one will inherit the title. However, when these titles start getting to that later stage, it does allow you, if she dies, for someone else to inherit the title, so you don't just lose that honor. On the very first, I think it's the first 2 or 3 titles, they're not inheritable, so you do lose it. But after that, the game doesn't punish you by losing the character and losing the title. You do get to move that on to someone else, so that does help. Hopefully we won't have the issue where anyone else dies, as long as Gray doesn't get his hands on anyone else, because he seems to be a psychopath. But hey ho, we see what we can do and we build through it. So we now have to accept the next quest part for what we just done, and it is ready to grant us the titles. So we have to accept it. We get a psychic link and we get the yeoman title. We've got that because we went straight from Freelander to yeoman with the 8 honor that we earned. So we're already going to be at title rank 2. So here comes the shuttle. I mean, when we watch these just roll up, it doesn't make me feel confidence when I'm walking around with a wooden club. These are walking around with charge rifles, and I'm here with a spear, a club, and a bow. I mean, there's a little bit of a difference in technology here, guys. But we'll do the ceremony. We'll get that done, so we can finish that part off. There we go. So the ceremony is done. We've been given the yeoman title. And what that brings, it brings different abilities that we can use. It gives us a level 1 psychic link, so we can now use different psychic abilities. We can have a look at now different types of meditation. We can also look at different royal titles in terms of throne rooms. So that's where we're going to have to start thinking about when we get next honor quests. Do we want to just give it to one person? Because if they get to that next rank in terms of their psychic abilities and the next title, they will need bigger rooms. So they'll need a bigger bedroom. It needs to be floored. Then they'll need a throne room that will need to be floored as well. And we don't have the research to do that at the moment. We don't have any research in order to be able to build the things that they will want to build. So it will need to be that we take it slow with each person, and it might be that each person gets the yeoman title before we move further forward, but we'll keep it as it is for now. So we've dealt with that, we've completed that quest which we knew about. We need a meditation spot. Luckily for us, you can just place a meditation spot, that does it. So we won't have to worry about too much on that. You just click on miscellaneous and you can build it. There's different nature shrines as well, but of course we don't have any wood at the moment in order to do that. We're still starving, as we know. We haven't fixed that problem as yet. We've got half the berry bushes growing. Dragon obviously was one of our growers, so unfortunately that part has gone. So we're going to go after the donkeys. I mean, I don't want to kill the little donkeys, but needs must, and I need food. It's always wise to try and keep everyone as happy as possible. I mean, I say that now after Dragon has died and was beaten to death by Grey. You know, guys, this is what happens. This game isn't all singing and dancing. It's not all fun. Sometimes things like this happen, and it really does make you wonder what's happened. Why has this happened in life? Why has Grey just gone absolutely mental? But these things happen, and there's nothing we can do about it. I mean, I'm not going to read what happened to Dragon, just out of respect to him, bless him. If you want to read it, please just pause the video and have a read through it, but I don't think we should have to read all this. We know what happened. He beat him to a bloody pulp. He's dead. There's blood all over him. There's blood all over the floor. There's no point crying over spilt milk anymore. Unfortunately, he is the first victim in this save, as we said. What we'll do is we'll keep our colonists that do die in the save buried up at this area, so we can always keep an eye on what's happened and who we lost at what time. It will give the name of who's buried there as well once they're buried, so we'll keep it that way. So I think I'll leave it there, guys. Leave a like if you haven't already. Comment, of course, subscribe if you're new around here, and I will see you in the next video.